Hey everyone, it's Izzle, your friendly neighborhood inker. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a digital drawing in Procreate. It will be concept art for one of my series, Botany Bliss. I plan to make this an ongoing series here on the channel, where I draw concept art of different ideas for my personal projects or stories. I hope you enjoy. Let's begin. So to begin, we're moving right into the inking of the illustration. Before we get into the details, just wanted to show you guys a sketch of the drawing. And just to give you guys some background on this concept art, in the world of Botany Bliss, there are little flower characters called seedlings, and they take care of the gardens and plant life on Botany. I had the idea to have plant pot creatures called potlings that house different types of flowers and hold some very special flowers that have a wide range of abilities and utilities that the seedlings can use, whether that be for their gardening task or for protection from enemies, which we'll see in this illustration. I actually did concept drawings of many different potling types. The gray guy can essentially become any of these types depending on certain environmental factors, the changeable guy at the very bottom there. And for this video, I decided to do a drawing showcasing the heat bud in all of its fiery glory. Let me know in the comments below if you guys would like to see future videos showing off the other types as well. Also, to shed some light on the character who was holding this heat bud here, his name is Tsundere, and he's a seedling character. And essentially the seedlings, they tend to the flowers of the potlings and help them kind of get around to get the proper nutrients and into the environments that best suit that flower type. And so for this drawing, we have Tsundere and the heat bud here fending off the garden from an intruder. The intruder in question is a little robot dude called a botling. And botlings are enemy invaders of planet Botany, where all the seedlings and potlings live peacefully. Well, at least they did until these guys showed up, bringing all their random contraptions and mechs and robots, all in an attempt just to industrialize this beautiful, lush environment for their own benefit. But they're not just doing this on some random whim. Of course, there's some big shot calling all the shots here, and we'll most likely cover his story and who he is in a future video. And so heat buds are one of the many special flowers that can spew flames as one of their abilities. I had the idea of them being able to even generate streams of fire like a flamethrower, essentially, and also shoot condensed fireballs almost like Mario when he has a fire flower. I even had an idea that maybe they could even charge that fireball attack up to create an even more devastating blast. And I guess you can kind of see that idea kind of coming into reality here in this drawing. Essentially what's happening to the botling is that he's getting hit with a giant blast of fire here. And also, just to kind of touch on my process here for drawing the fire, essentially what I did is I just roughed out a silhouette of a flat color, which would be the red color there, and I have a palette at the top of the screen you can see there that I'm referencing to get all the colors correct. And I'm kind of just painting over that initial flat color to get the desired look for that flaming or fiery effect. So right now this looks kind of like a flat shape, but later on I will kind of blur it out to make it look a little bit more natural. And in the world of Botany Bliss, I want the characters to venture into many different environments and gardens that they will be tending to. And in the event that they run into certain obstacles or puzzles, perhaps put there as a way to hinder their progress in taking care of the garden by the botlings themselves. This is where the different types of botlings could shine. Like say they're exploring a snowy garden full of icy obstacles or puzzles, or even botlings using enemies or having robots that use ice type attacks. This could be an area where the heat bud could shine because they could use their fire to counter that. Or there's like icy blocks blocking them from moving forward for intending a certain part of the garden. Overall, having the heat bud with them would be a wonderful asset to allowing them to get through those obstacles in the event they're in like a snowy or tundra type garden. So I thought ideas like that came to me. I thought that would be really cool to have the potlings have like different uses depending on the environments they're in. And not all potlings are meant for combat. The heat buds is one of the exceptions where it's more of a combat oriented type of potling, but there'll be other ones that might have other utilities that are more puzzle based, or you know, for figuring out certain things that will help them tend the flowers. Also, to touch on the seedlings, they don't really have any special abilities per se, besides some very niche examples. Like, for example, if seedlings based on like a flower, like a rose, they might have thorns covering their body, which could serve as a defense against enemies. Or a lotus flower seedling being more skilled in swimming compared to others in like aquatic areas, but it's very niche. For the most part, seedlings rely on potlings for protection in combat situations. So they kind of rely on them for fighting. They can't really fight or defend themselves as well without the use of a potling. So essentially what it does is kind of create this symbiotic relationship between the two. And while we're on the topic of seedlings, in case you guys were wondering what flower Azure is based off of, he's based off of a desert bluebell flower. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of have him in this illustration, because maybe if they're in this desert area within a garden, and it makes sense that they would be like a fire type potling in a hot region. This kind of makes sense. And I kind of liked how he had that bright red in the body and then the striking blue for his petals. So I thought it'd be a cool character to use in the illustration here. And now I'm thinking about it, the potling, the heat bud itself, looking at it with the green stem and the red pot color kind of puts you in the mind of like a chili pepper or something. So it kind of all fits together. It's all coming full circle. But kind of finishing up the drawing here, coming to the end here, just adding in the detail for the flower stem. And then my favorite part is going to be the fire bud itself. And really getting that fiery look on the flower. And then going in here and just finishing up the coloring on the heat bud. I used the same process I used for the fire. Basically put down a flat color, alpha locked it, and then kind of just went into using the details of getting that fiery effect. And I really liked how it turned out. I also like the design of the heat bud, making it look like it's almost like a fireball itself. It's really fitting with the whole theme. And to wrap up the video, let's go ahead and look at the finished artwork. I had a lot of fun making this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's take a look at the different phases of the artwork. I really love talking about my stories and projects, and I have a plethora of other concepts to share. Stay tuned for future videos covering the world of Botany Bliss and my other creative projects. If you really enjoyed the video, leave a like as it'll help my channel grow. I appreciate your support. And if you don't want to miss future content, maybe consider subscribing as well. As always, my friends, remember to think before you ink, and I'll see you next time.